The following program was recorded live. This recording is protected by copyright law. Unauthorized duplication or distribution is prohibited.
That your organization can do for you is to make room for its everyday heroes. What is an everyday hero? People that deploy, leave their homes, go out, answer a call away. Clearly, they're an everyday hero. People that work right where they always work, right through a disaster. Do the job they do every day, despite the fact that the world around them has just gone into absolute turmoil and chaos. They're an everyday hero. The people that when you call come in and do the extra duty, they're an everyday hero. The people that stay home and make it possible for I and my colleagues to be away 12 weeks last year, or for you to stay at the hospital and do the work that you do, or in the field and do the work that you do. My wife, my children, they're everyday heroes. The people who can't make it in because they have a personal or professional duty or responsibility that overrides your need for them to be there, they're still an everyday hero. When that disaster is over and all those people come back together, room needs to be made for them to reconnect, for them to share their stories. I want to hear what went on with my children for 12 weeks, a quarter of a year. I want to hear how my wife handled that, what went on with her. Besides which I ordered dinner out. The people that I work with who are totally unaffected by any of the storms want to hear all about the airport. And I want to hear all about what went on at work. Catch up on the gossip. The folks that didn't make it in want to hear what went on at the hospital as it coped with the disaster. You want to know what went on at the hospital. And everybody, as you bring them in, and even after, wants to hear what you had to deal with in the field. And everybody wants to know what happened to that nurse in Osceola County who had never missed a day of work in 30 years and had 38 trees fall against the fences around her property and on her home, trapping her for 3 days, resulting in her not making it into work. There has to be room for everybody to reconnect, to share those stories. And they have to be appreciated. The best example in corporate or healthcare I have ever seen of appreciating everyday heroes, I saw last year following Hurricane Rita at Memorial Hermann South. CEO there was in charge of a relatively new hospital, or perhaps I should say hospital, because they had this big white H on the side of the building that the storm had come and ripped off along with a big chunk of their facing, unwrapping the building kind of like a candy bar and disconnecting them even from their auxiliary power. When Florida 3 arrived and restored their power, they discovered they had another problem. Their beautiful new electronic ER, filmless, paperless, all computerized, did not have one computer or even lights that were on the auxiliary power circuit. They had a big, dank, hot, dark hole that did not even have a window. So they were now seeing patients under the overhang of the doctor's office building and part of the hospital in 105-degree temperatures in the shade in Texas. And they had patients coming in. Now they had evacuated all their patients before the storm and most of their staff. Now those of you who are not familiar with air flight work, there is something called a deadhead leg. Those are the empty seats on a helicopter as it goes out to pick people up. Ambulances, as you guys know, also have deadheads. The back of the ambulance is generally empty as you drive to go pick people up. You can fit 4 people in the back of an ambulance, 2 in a helicopter. Memorial Hermann owned all the helicopters and aircraft. And they were using them to bring back their employees from downtown Houston. And as those deadheads were arriving, the CEO of the hospital would get a call. And he would go to the overhead PA, and he would announce a homecoming. Now remember, you had floor to 3 personnel manning the hospital floor. So every employee was free to come downstairs, and did. And they amassed in the parking lot. And as those nurses and janitors, respiratory technicians and dietitians and cooks stepped off of those helicopters, out of those ambulances, they were greeted by a standing ovation. This is a man who knew how to appreciate his everyday heroes. Now, Jim told you, I've been a professional speaker for 20 years. In our profession of professional speaking, at our conventions, we remind each other every convention of what a tremendous honor we have as speakers. Because we get to stand up here in front of groups of professionals and experts, heroes, every one of you. And we get to impart some small little bit of information. And if we do a lousy job, somebody is going to clap. We show up to work, somebody applauds. When is the last time you showed up to work to a standing ovation? There's something else that Jim did not tell you. I'm a member of the 9/11 families. I lost a family member in Tower 2, 2 brother firefighters under Tower 1, and a colleague in the Pentagon. On behalf of them, on behalf of the people that you serve, and on behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your preparedness, for your professionalism, for your service. To my team members, I thank you for the honor of serving with you. And on behalf of those we've all lost, I ask you all to stand and join us in giving you a well-deserved standing ovation. Thank you.